Love, blessings, peace, and prosperity. Divine, beautiful soul, you are tuned into the Cafecito and Tarot podcast. It's me, Nicole P, your spiritual barista, serving you wisdom, guidance, and inspiration from the cards. I got the brew for you, my love. The Tarot Brew that is. And this is the Tarot Brew for this week. My love, I am going to just have one episode out for this week. I've been off for a few days and I'm going to grant myself this grace in the space um, this weekend as well. Most recently, to be honest, my mom, and a lot of folks know her as Mama D, had been hospitalized for quite some time. And, I've been doing this dance with my mom with her chronic illness being, part of this journey alongside of her. She's danced between the worlds for many, many moons. And so often, each time, she comes very close, right on the edge of crossing over and then comes back. And each one of these experiences, it's like living in another dimension, existing in another dimension. It's like being in a bubble and the world is going on slow yet fast. And it's almost as if you can't see, but yet you can see. I can't explain it, but it's pretty intense. And to have I mean, I always believe and feel death, um, dancing and walking and laughing, amongst us each and every day. And in those situations when you almost can touch death because your loved one's about is like really near is on the threshold, near that threshold of a crossover. It's intense. It's really, really a raw, intense experience. And so she's back. She's back from the hospital and doing rather well. And yeah, it's just something. And I just it just hit me. And I just had a few days that I just didn't have anything to give. And then on top of it too, to be really honest, you may know this if you have a loved one, someone you care about, a community member that is in and out of the hospital or medical system, you got to be on top of people, right? You got to like be advocating, and it's almost like really just you got to show up and let them know that the patient has someone who's watching their back and watching their moves, and you have to call stuff out. And so I had to straighten some people out. I had to handle up some business. And so that in of itself um touches a lot of anger in me and rage from past experiences and just systems in general. And I won't have that. So there was just a lot, and I needed a little space to be. So I do have a brew for you this week, and I'll be back on the regular next week. This weekend, we are planting flowers uh, and gardens, like little mini gardens, because we don't have a lot of yard space where we rent. But we have like these, what do you call them? They're like where you make little like wood boxes, not planters. I forgot the garden boxes, I guess. Beds, garden beds, tall garden beds. That's what it is. And we're putting them together, and we're gonna have some jalapenos and tomatoes, calabazas or zucchinis, some eggplants, and I got lavender, rue, lemon balm, which is my favorite, and we got some things like hostas and some rose. We got a bunch of things, and so we are in communion with the earth and the land, the little spot of land that we have where the yard, I should say, that where we rent. So I'll be back refreshed and ready to rock and roll in the new week. So I have the brew that I'm going to serve you from the Knight of Swords reverse. Now I do have short little story I'm going to share with you about the Knight of Swords, and that card will always be like ingrained in my head. Now, Knight of Swords upright. And I'm going to tell you, that card came up when my 28-year-old self went to go get my cards read. And I didn't even tell the reader anything. I was just devastated because the man I was living with he was a jerk. He was abusive. He was a jerk. And I was head over heels in love with him. He was messed up. He's all jacked up. He, he had addictions. I was so crazy about him. And, and he stayed out all night. Sometimes he didn't come home. But I didn't ever think he cheated on me. But eventually, I knew he started cheating on me, and he fell in love with somebody else, and he got that girl pregnant. And I was just devastated because I loved him so much. Oh my gosh. I had to do all the healing. I just forgive my 23 to 28-year-old self for putting up for that SHIT. It is what it is. So anyways, I go to see this card reader. I'm 28 years old. I sit down at the table. She looks at me and she just read me like bada bing, bada boom, threw the cards out, didn't know nothing, and she just laid it all out. She was like, called him by his name, knew some of the stuff that he was messed up with, and then she was like, he's also doing this stuff. He's having someone else do like some brujeria on you. And I knew that he had people that were into some stuff. And then she was like, boom, the Knight of Swords. Because then I was like, is he coming back? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Poor, like 28-year-old me. Is he coming back? But I love him. Is he coming back? Knight of Swords. She was like, girl, he has left you behind. He has left you with all his baggage. He doesn't even think about you. He's got another girl pregnant and he is moving on with his life. He is long gone. He left you with everything. Now you're trying to pick up the pieces. This is what I suggest you do. And so I just have that in my mind of the Knight of Swords, like boom. And it was true. It was so true. And here's the thing, it was that card reader that gifted me a deck. Now I had decks that I got before, like at Barnes& and Nobles and some of the other, like, used bookstores, and I had tarot. I've always loved tarot, and that's a whole nother episode. I've always loved in my relationship with tarot, but she had given me a deck at 28 and said, "Listen, someday you're gonna read cards for other people, and I want to give you this deck. And I want you to hang on to this because it's going to be your inspiration. You're going to get through this man. You got to wash this man out of your hair. You got to get rid of this man." She just told me all these different things to do to get rid of his energy, to cut him off out of my life. And here I am. And it was so it just stuck in my head, stuck in my head. And back in the day, there were metaphysical shops, no doubt, but a lot of times when you went to go read, get your cards read, you always went to people's houses. There are all these readers in the neighborhood, and you just go to their house and you go and sit in their kitchen table. And so that's what I remember. It was a kitchen table. I was in Madison, Wisconsin, and she read right through me. It was a Knight of Swords. But today, my friend, the Knight of Swords reversed it's not about anyone leaving you behind or leaving you all that baggage. The Knight of Swords reversed. The root today is about pausing and reflecting. Now, sometimes when there's a hesitancy, excuse me, to charge ahead, to move forward on an idea, because the Knight of Swords is fire, excuse me, it's action. So it's fire and air. Now it's in reverse, so there's a little bit of a stagnancy. There's a little bit like of a stutter, so to speak. And when this card comes up reversed, one of the great messages is of this pause and reflect. Like this tendency and this idea of charging full force ahead, of just going and just not even thinking, just moving, 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 pausing from that and just saying, what is the stem? Like what is at the root? That's what I was saying, not the stem. What is at the root of my feeling like I've got to go. I got to keep moving. I got to do this quick. It's almost like this card in reversal is like where you have like this angst, a little bit maybe anxiety, and I use that lightly. I'm not a mental health professional, so I don't mean it. I guess maybe that's not. Probably should not use that word. You just have like an restlessness. Let's use that word, restlessness, right? Of and thinking and contemplating. Okay, I should do this, or I should go. I'm going to do this, and it's just kind of like, but yet the wheels don't turn. Yet the action doesn't happen. And so, it's a really good time to pause, take some deep breaths, and say, okay, really, what is the root of this restlessness? Like, what is this, like, this energy that I'm feeling that I have to just go for it? I feel like I have to just take action, and I feel like I have to respond, and yet I can't. There's a hesitancy, and I feel a little stuck. And often it's the body and the mind and the spirit and the universe, right? cosmos, ancestors, angels, spirits, however you like to name the energies, right? The supernatural. It's like an invitation to pause and say, wait a minute, okay, what is the root? Like, am I like thinking and feeling this restlessness to respond, to take action? Is it out of ego? Is it out of fear? Is it out of anger? And none of it's right or wrong, but it's just a question. Like, is it out of anger? Is it about a scarcity mindset? Am I doing this because I think I have to prove somebody wrong? Am I am I overthinking this because maybe it's because I'm trying to please somebody else? It's like this way of wanting to take action but not taking action, and yet it's causing this friction, this tension, like I said, this restlessness. And so when this card comes up reversed, it's like, wait a minute, no need to act quick. No need to jump on anything unless, of course, it has to do with your basic survival, right? We're not talking about that. But it's like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Take some deep breaths, hand over heart, the other hand over your belly, right below your belly button, and breathe in and feel into what is the call of action. What is the root? What is the inspiration of the action that you want to take? Not that you think you should take, not that anyone else is expecting you to take, but how to connect to the root of the inspiration of the momentum that you desire to take. Because when we pause and we take a moment, it's almost like, you got an email, right? Did you ever the coworker, you got an email and it's a snarky email, right? And you want to tell them something, okay? And you gotta you gotta take a pause, you gotta take a break, you gotta step away, right? And you have to be able to breathe. And you can respond and you can tell them something, right? But there's always a way in which you tell them something that doesn't jeopardize your livelihood, doesn't jeopardize anything. People, it's all how you do it, right? It's how you respond. So it's one of those cards, like pausing before you respond, pausing before you move forward with that burst of energy and action. And it's almost all too like an invitation to be a little bit strategic in light of your vision and in light of honoring both your fire and your air. Does that make sense? So sometimes when this comes up reverse, some folks might say there's a stagnancy or there's somehow that you feel stuck. And I think it's more of just a pause to say, what's going on? What's going on? What am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? And there's no right or wrong answer, because after you pause and you reflect and you still want to take that energy and turn that card right side up, that's you. You have free will. No one knows you better than you, except for spirit and, of course, maybe some really, really close friends. But that deep, deep, deep or close circle or community, however you say it, but that deep, like intimate part, like you will know what is right for you. So, Knight of Knight of Swords, not Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords, my love. Maybe in these days, you know, really reflecting on the energy of action in regards to air energy. So, cutting through caca, cutting through caca, speaking your truths, right? Any way of communication. This idea of this energy of idea. Um, Reflect upon some actions and some energy of action and how you want to honor the action of air, the fire of air, and really being intentional of the root of the inspiration of what lights you up. And what is that root? Like, why? What is the why in any sort of action? And any sort of momentum and moving forward. It's an invitation to reflect on the why and to reconnect with the why, like the deep, 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 deep seated why, like that kind of why. You feel me? So, yeah, that's what I got for you. Thank you. It's a little bit of an extended episode, and I appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, I'll be back next week. Let's say next Tuesday. I'm gonna take Monday because it's like the holiday. I know I have to be at work, and I'm gonna just chill with Mama D, and plant flowers and veggies. So, my love, peace, love, everything in between. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll be back next week. You take care for yourself, please. Stay hydrated, stay rested, root into dreams and possibilities. And if you have sacred rage and anger, and just ensure that you know that you care for yourself through all that you're dancing with. Okay. And, yeah. Peace. Bye.